On News Hour tonight, Kaduna grapes set to take over the market as production ramps up. Court dismisses suspended Adamawa INEC Rex bid to hold trial. PETROAN sees lower petrol prices as Port Harcourt, Warri refineries come on stream. On the foreign scene, Congo Health Ministry says 773 bodies in Goma Hospital morgues. Good evening and welcome to Trust News Hour. I am Chiamaka Mwafu. Now the news. Kaduna State has become Nigeria's hub for grape farming, accounting for 85% of the country's production, thanks to its favorable climate and soil conditions. A grape farm in Kudan local government area is thriving, producing tons of grapes to meet growing consumer demand across Nigeria. Trust TV's Bello Musa visited the farm in Kudan and reports that despite the success recorded by the farmers, some challenges still limit grape production. His report.
It's a type of crops that has a very long lifespan of minimum of 45 years and above. Grapes can take up to 100 years in production, as far as there's no any problems associated with the soil.
Grape production, which has been ongoing for more than 2 decades, has added to the cash crop industry here in the Difa community, Kudan local government area of Kaduna State.
In this farm, we normally harvest like 25 tons in every session of grapes.
That's 2 times in a year.
2 times in a year, which was about 22 kilograms. 22,000 kilograms, I mean.
In the past, Nigerians largely depended on imported grapes. However, with the success recorded by this farm, reliance on foreign grapes is decreasing, making fresh produce more affordable and accessible.
Most Nigerians are consuming our locally grape produce here in the name of foreign grapes. People's beliefs is that grapes cannot grow in Nigeria. That is why most of the grape being consumed in the name of imported one, not knowing that we are producing it here in Nigeria.
Beyond its commercial value, grape farming is providing job opportunities for youth in Difa, Kudan, and across Kaduna State, from cultivation to harvesting and distribution. The industry is creating employment across the supply chain. The local one is more marketable and profitable to us. The foreign one is expensive, but people can afford the local grape.
I buy grape because I really like it. It's a very good food to eat, so I do eat it every time. Affordable, yeah, it's affordable. This is 200 naira. Among other food, I think is the one that is very affordable, very cheap.
Despite its progress, the farm faces challenges, particularly during the dry season, where limited irrigation makes grape production difficult. Farmers say better infrastructure and access to affordable farming input would enhance output.
Actually, one of the challenges we are facing here is the insufficiency in water supply. Grapes is one of the valuable crops that require abundant irrigation systems, which water is the foundation of achieving that. So actually, we are having problem with the availability of water. The numbers of borehole we are using for the survival of this farm actually is highly inadequate for us, which I'm sure, if to say we are free from the problem of water supply here in this farm, so the level of our production will definitely increase with at least 15 to 20%.
Although exporting locally grown grapes could boost Nigerians' agricultural exports, government's policies continue to hinder the process, making it difficult for farmers to access international markets.
Exporting of commodities like grapes has some certain criteria that one has to follow before he were approved to start exporting. Actually, we are making plans against the next productions in order to see that whether we can meet up with such criteria that will enable us to export our commodity outside.
With greater commitment, particularly from the government, Kudan local government has the potential to make Nigeria self-sufficient in grape production, reducing imports, strengthening the local economy, and positioning the country as a leader in Africa's fresh produce industry. From Kudan local government in the northern part of Kaduna State, Bello Musa reporting for Trust TV News.
Over in Adamawa State, the High Court has dismissed an application filed by the suspended Resident Electoral Commissioner of the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC), Hudu Yunusa Ari, seeking to stay proceedings in the substantive case instituted by the Adamawa State government. In a ruling delivered by Justice Benjamin Lawan Manji, the court held that it lacks the discretion to entertain Hudu's application, which was filed through his counsel, M.K. Tijani. Tijani had argued that the court should adjourn the case pending the determination of an appeal heard by the Yola Court of Appeal on January 21, 2025. However, counsel to the state, L.D. Zedon, opposed the application, citing Section 307 of the Administration of Criminal Justice Law of Adamawa State 2018. Zedon submitted that the section clearly prohibits the court from entertaining applications that seek to hold proceedings in criminal matters. Justice Manji agreed with Zedon's submission, stating that the grant or refusal of the application is a matter of discretion for the court or to exercise judicially and judiciously. The need to ensure that criminal cases are speedily addressed to reduce the number of persons, or rather prison inmates, awaiting trial in Gombe State has been stressed. According to stakeholders, 90% of the state's prisoners awaiting trial are facing criminal charges. Hence, judiciary experts are urging the executive to employ and train more law officers to handle the cases. Hassan Kohli has more.
In 2024, Gombe State experienced a significant criminal cases, leading to a backlog of cases yet to be attended to. According to the Chief Registrar of the Gombe State High Court, Bello Sharif, 90% of inmates awaiting trial in the state's prisons are involved in criminal cases, a situation he described as worrisome.
Most of the cases are being recorded by our courts, particularly criminal cases. Our cases are given source for concern. Source for concern in the sense that when you go to the prison, you discover that most of the inmates awaiting trial are people under the age of 20, 25. Downwards, they constitute more than 90% of the population of the prison. And the number is always increasing. And when we look at it, we discover that most of these people are lacking a lot of things in the society that bring them up. These are situations where you see young men taking drugs freely, consuming hallucinants, capable of destroying the fabric of the society. And these are the targets. These are the youth. This is the target of society.
In response to the growing backlog, the Gombe State Judiciary says it is implementing several reforms aimed at expediting justice delivery. These include comprehensive reforms, infrastructural upgrades, and improved welfare for judicial officers. Despite these efforts, the high percentage of inmates awaiting trial for serious criminal offenses remains a significant concern, highlighting the need for continued reforms and resource allocation to address the challenges within Gombe State's judicial system.
people who are shoulder the responsibility of safeguarding the society should be treated with all the importance they deserve. Because when you call an agency to come for an intervention, take the police for instance, and they do not have vehicle to move or the personnel to deploy, you find that the criminals will have a field day. So I will call that it is important that the training and equipping of those agencies responsible for curbing crime and training them and retraining them is very important. If that is done, I think the society will be safer, and I think the volume of cases will drop.
The Chief Judge of Gombe State, Justice Halima Muhammad, had during a review of the 2024 legal year revealed that a total of 616 cases encompassing civil, criminal and human rights abuses were filed at the State High Court. Hassan Koli, Trust TV News, Gombe.
Local diggers in Bauchi State are appealing to the government and well-meaning Nigerians for assistance due to low patronage and the high cost of living. In an interview with Trust TV, the diggers expressed their concerns and desire to find alternative means of survival. The report.
The group, who described their work as temporary hard labor, noted that some of them have been digging for over 2 decades. They acknowledged the numerous safety challenges associated with the work. Malam Inusa Muhammad, their leader, and other members expressed desire to become a more organized group rather than continue as a temporary collective. Despite the challenges, we persevere in our efforts to earn a living through this work. We depend on these activities, and we are determined to register as an association. This will allow us to gain recognition from the relevant authorities and the community, ultimately benefiting us all. We go out daily within the community, seeking work from residents. This is how we manage with the small earning we receive. We hope to become a registered association like other groups, enabling us to operate more formally. We gathered here in large numbers to work. It often takes us 2 to 3 days to find work, but we are persistent. We have received support from philanthropists like Balawunti, who have sent us work opportunities. Other groups from different communities are thriving, while we continue to gather under this tree, waiting for clients. The diggers emphasize the need for the government to implement policies and programs that address the plight of ordinary citizens and alleviate the unprecedented economic hardship the country is currently facing. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
The Petroleum Products Retail Outlet Owners Association of Nigeria, PETROAN, says petrol prices will crash down following the revival of the Harcourt and Warri refineries by the federal government. In a statement on Saturday, PETROAN National Public Relations Officer Joseph Obele said contrary to previous doubts, the refineries are now fully operational, with PETROAN members loading petroleum products including kerosene, diesel and petrol. He noted that the revitalization of the facilities has numerous benefits, including the eradication of adulterated diesel and kerosene from the market. He regretted that for years the absence of functional refineries led to a proliferation of fake petroleum products, posing significant risks to consumers. Obele stated that the demand for fake products has decreased with the availability of original diesel and kerosene, a situation that has also reduced the risk of explosions and equipment damage. Nigeria's Safety Investigation Bureau says the Allied Air Boeing 737 400 freighter that crash-landed at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport on December 11, 2024, was shuttled to collect cargo for the Central Bank of Nigeria. The Bureau stated this in a preliminary report released on Saturday, about 2 months after it commenced an investigation into the incident. According to the report, the aircraft took off from Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos at 09:11 and began its descent into Abuja at 09:44. The aircraft had arrived from Douala earlier in the morning and was shuttled for 6 sectors, namely Lagos-Abuja, Abuja-Sokoto, Sokoto-Abuja, Abuja-Yola, Yola-Abuja, and Abuja-Lagos with the same flight crew. Though all occupants escaped unharmed, NSIB confirmed that the structural integrity of the cabin and cockpit remained. Clinical lecturers at the College of Medicine, Lagos University Teaching Hospital, LUTH, have announced an indefinite strike from Monday, February 3rd, over the non-payment of their consolidated medical salary structure, CONMES. Under the Medical and Dental Consultants Association of Nigeria, MDCAN, the lecturers say the demands for salary alignment have been ignored despite a 21-day ultimatum to universities in the Southwest. In a statement by MDCAN LUTH Chairman Kehinde Okwande and Secretary Olukayode Akimola, the association confirmed that all academic activities involving clinical lecturers would be suspended, including lectures, tutorials, student rotations, assessments, and examinations. MDCAN has been pushing for the full implementation of CONMES for all medical and dental specialists in universities. The association is also demanding payment of outstanding clinical duty allowances and arrears from 2023 and 2024. The lecturers are urging the university management to resolve the issue promptly to avoid prolonged academic disruptions. Over in Delta State, clerics and residents have raised the alarm over the increasing wave of moral decadence sweeping through the state. They lamented that the moral standard that stood the society out and served as the guiding principle for life that was passed down from generations before has been eroded by the challenges of modernization. They reiterated the need for government to formulate necessary policies to promote moral standards in the societies. Trust TV Jonathan Awai tells us more.
In separate interviews, residents acknowledged the negative impacts of modernization on the lives of youth in the society, saying it has resulted in a near loss of societal value. While some residents attributed moral decay to lack of effective parenting, poor education, and the influence of social media, others said the prevalence of people with unverifiable sources of wealth in Nigeria is no doubt what is fueling the perception that there are no consequences for corruption.
The solution is the government. We have to strengthen our institutions and ensure that all these good laws are made and ensure that punishments are meted out to those who are found wanting. But today, it is not so. It is crime galore.
Everybody is to be blamed. Everybody is to be blamed. Our leaders, the church family, the society, everybody is to be blamed. Morality has been thrown to the dogs. We say growing up, parenting was a collective responsibility of everyone when we were growing up. But now, I mean, it's difficult to even look after someone's child if they let them not hang a criminal or a crime on you. And when you look at the expectations of the youths of this generation, like our generation, is premised on the quick get-rich-quick syndrome that just make money against all odds, no matter what means.
Some clerics who spoke with Trust TV condemned the state of moral decadence in the society, noting that the level of moral decadence among youths have become a source of serious concern.
The thing is that everybody comes from a home. The Bible says that it's set at a solitary family. The family is the root of every man's origin. I think, though generally it's a collective effort to repair the society, but looking at the moral decadence in our time, I think it's primarily a thing that emanates from families. I think our contemporary parents are actually not doing what they should do, then when we travel from the society travels this way: family, church, society. When the family face is handled, well, there is responsibility, because parents must be by example. You can't.
Everyone in this case has their own part of blame. When we talk about the DK has to do with a breakdown in everything that's happened. But the most important thing is how to inculcate the godly moral, where by so doing, family ethics is important.
They called on government at all levels and Nigerians in general, irrespective of religious affiliations, to propagate and inculcate good moral values in use and practice honesty in order to ensure a morally upright country. Jonathan Anwanyai, Trust TV News, Asaba.
This is News Hour on Trust TV. Still to come. Army preaches unity at 2025 West Africa Social Activity Day. This story and more will return. Please do stay with us. Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. Now a recap of our top stories. We told you that Kaduna grapes set to take over the market as production ramps up. We also informed you that court dismisses suspended Adamo INEC Rec Speed to hold trial. More stories. Over in Osun State, the command of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps has discovered and destroyed illegal mining site at Sambisa area of Kajola community in the state. During the sting operation on Friday, one suspect was arrested by the NSCDC operatives while others escaped. Here's more in this report.
The Osun State Commandant of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Igbalawole Sotiyo, led the operation to the illegal mining site at Sambisa area of Kajola community in Atakumasa West local government area of Osun State. Upon sighting the NSCDC men, the miners fled, but one of them was arrested.
Finally, we were able to bust them today. We picked some of them, and some of them took to their use. We want to let the good people of Osun State know that Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, we are not going to tolerate any form of illegal mining in anywhere in this state, whether Elisha, whether Ife, whether this place. So we want to tell all the people that are involved in illegal mining that they should pack their things and leave this state.
The suspect, Swaibu Awolu, said he came to Osun State from Abuja to work as a laborer at the mining site. I am a laborer here, and my goal is to use this as a means of livelihood. I came from Abuja, and this is my first month on this job before this incident. The NSCDC commandant sought the cooperation of the people of Osun State to enable the command succeed in tackling crime.
If you want to involve in any form of mining, you should go to the Federal Ministry of Mines and collect your license that will authorize you to operate in anywhere in the state. So we want to let the public know that they should feel free to divulge any form of all information regarding mining activity that is going on in and around their environment. Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, I want to let you know, is committed to making our mandate to work, especially in Osun State.
The commandant said the suspect will be charged to court after diligent investigation. Amid Ojigbade, Trust TV News, Osogbo.
The Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps has swiftly responded to a petroleum tanker accident at Goreka along Kaduna Road, deploying tactical teams to prevent a potential fire disaster and control the situation. Following the incident, the NSCDC immediately took action to secure the area and prevent fuel scooping, which could have led to a catastrophic explosion. This was contained in a statement signed by the NSCDC spokesperson, Babawale Afolabi, on Saturday. According to the statement, the Corps also collaborated with the Federal Road Safety Commission to regulate traffic flow and ensure crowd control. Officials confirmed that the situation was brought under control, preventing any further damage or escalation. Nigeria's ruling party, the All Progressives Congress APC, have called for sustainable bilateral cooperation between Nigeria and Ethiopia. The national chairman of the party, Umar Ganduje, who was represented by the Deputy National Chairman North, Ali Bokra Deluri, made the call in an address at the Second Congress of Ethiopia's Prosperity Party in Addis Ababa. He emphasized the shared vision of progress, unity and development between the two nations and their ruling political parties. The party highlighted the historic and enduring relationship between Nigeria and Ethiopia, rooted in mutual respect, shared values and common aspirations. Ethiopia's Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, who is also the president of the ruling Prosperity Party, said the party has emerged as a leader in political and economic reforms, emphasizing the importance of innovation and engagement in solving Ethiopia's long-standing issues.
This gathering is more than a mere political congress. It's a celebration of our shared commitment to progress, unity, and development. It reflects the profound friendship that exists between two great African nations. As we gather here to reflect on the achievements since your first congress and chart a course for the future, I wish you productive and successful deliberations. The challenges we face as nations may differ, but the solutions lie in solidarity, innovation, and a shared commitment to progress. On behalf of all Nigerians, both those residing at home and the vibrant Nigerian community here in Ethiopia, I extend a heartfelt message of friendship and peace. May our nations continue to grow together, united by a shared vision of prosperous and peaceful Africa.
የፓርቲ ፖለቲካ ታሪክ በጣም አጭር ነው።
In Ethiopia, the history of party politics is very short. It has a lifespan closer to 60 years. In the last 60 years, all the challenges that we have not been able to transit emanates from the wrong belief that a party could bring about reform and realize the reform as well. Creating a reform without the realization of skilled reformers in a party won't sustain the party for long. Creating a reform is not all about speaking the challenges about the existing system. Rather, it calls for emanating solutions. There are so many backward procedures and practices that it wants to deconstruct.
The Nigerian Army has again used cultural performances, shared meals, and friendly competitions at Junguza Barracks in Kano State to enforce the message of unity. At the West Africa cultural activities this year, the Army said the military barracks is a mini Nigeria that portrays how people from different tribes and religions must live and work together in peace. Trust TV's Abdulaziz Ibrahim tells us more in this report.
During the West Africa Social Activity Day, various dances were showcased. The Igbo cultural dance, the Fulani dance, the Tiv Swange and the Asharawa from Plateau State were all featured. A special visit by the Eyo Masquerade from Lagos, which preceded a vibrant Bata Yoruba dance. The Barrack commanding officer said the event not only celebrates Nigeria's tradition but also reinforces the importance of working together regardless of differences.
The event, which is held at the end of every calendar year or within the first quarter of succeeding year, forms part of nucleus that hold us together to perform our roles better within Nigeria or outside our shores. It also gives our families the ability to live peacefully together, whether we are here with them or not.
A variety of delicious foods from across Nigeria were also on display. The highlight of the day was a tug-of-war contest. Mobile police and army strongmen faced off in an exciting competition. Although the army won, the commander of 3rd Brigade Nigerian Army said the event was a success for all.
We showcase the rich cultural diversity in the barracks. As you can see, today we have seen numerous tribes, numerous traditions come together to show you that the barracks is actually a microcosm, a mini Nigeria. And that is how we work. There is a lot of strength in our diversity. Everybody is different, but it brings us together. And at the same time, it is also to have a very good civil-military cooperation. You can see it has brought front of the barracks, it has brought traditional rulers, it has brought the local communities, religious leaders, and that is the essence.
The West Africa Social Activity Day at Janguza Barracks served as a powerful reminder of Nigeria's rich diversity and the strength that comes from unity. Abdulaziz Ibrahim, Trust TV News, Kano.
From Kano, we go to Nasarawa State, where the police command says it has arrested 12 suspected kidnappers and 29 others for various offences committed in January. The State Commissioner of Police, Shatima Mohammed Joru, made this known at a news conference on the achievements of the command in Lafia, the state capital. He said some of the arrests were made based on tips they received from the public. The CP cited a case in Akwanga, amongst others, where 3 suspected kidnappers were apprehended and their victim rescued unhurt. According to him, all suspects have confessed to the crime. The Commissioner of Police also disclosed that the command arrested 29 other suspects for various offences within the period under review.
On 19 January 2025, based on credible information, police operatives intercepted Harun Abdullahi, 33 years, from Mararabad Junction, Karo local government. A search on his vehicle led to the discovery of 5 bags of dry leaves suspected to be Indian hemp. Number 2, arrest of suspected kidnappers and rescue of kidnapped victims. On 18 January 2025, the police received information that Billy Mekasua from Maro village, Okonga local government, had been kidnapped and taken to an unknown location or destination. In response, the operatives from the Goody, that is the police operative from Goody division, launched a manhunt for the criminals. The suspects were traced to a forest in Agua So village, Maro, Okonga, where the victim was rescued unharmed. 2 suspects, Ibrahim Samaila, 20 years, and Abdullahi Ilu, 19 years, were arrested while others escaped.
The Kaduna State Police Command has commenced the enforcement of the mandatory third-party insurance policy for motor vehicles effective February 1, 2025. A statement issued by the Command's Police Public Relations Officer, DSP Mansur Hassan, in Kaduna on Saturday, said the enforcement is in line with the directive of the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun. He further explained that the enforcement aims to ensure compliance with the compulsory insurance policy, which protects road users against liabilities arising from accidents involving insured vehicles. The police spokesperson emphasized that enforcement is necessary to ensure the safety of road users and to reduce the risk of accidents. The command advised vehicle owners and motorists to obtain valid insurance coverage from accredited insurance companies to avoid facing penalties. Still on the matter, meanwhile, over in Akwa Ibom State, CP Baba Muhammad Azari on Saturday led an enforcement team to monitor compliance with the third-party vehicle insurance scheme in the state. Recall that the Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Egbetokun, directed all the police commands in the country to ensure that motorists present the third-party insurance certificate of their vehicles to operatives starting from February 1, 2025. Azari, enforcing the directive on Saturday, led senior officers of the command to strategic areas in the state, including Uyo and Ikota Ekpene. He said the exercise would continue until all motorists have their vehicle third-party insurance certificates. Speaking with journalists shortly after the exercise, Azari expressed satisfaction that a good number of motorists accosted have their valid papers, including the third-party insurance certificate. He also noted that some vehicles were impounded after the owners failed to present the required papers. adding that the vehicles would only be released upon presentation of the valid documents within a given time frame. The Federal Road Safety Corps has come under intense criticism over its operations, which make it look like a revenue-generating agency. In Osun State, residents are complaining that the Corps is more invested in revenue generation rather than its primary mandate. Hamid Oyegbade tells us more.
The primary role of Federal Road Safety Corps in Nigeria is to enforce road traffic rules and regulations to prevent or reduce road accidents. However, most road users say the Federal Road Safety Corps has lost focus and now concentrates more on checking vehicle particulars, doing traffic stops, and imposing fines rather than checking traffic infractions. In Osun State, residents want the Federal Road Safety Corps to stay focused on its core mandate instead of turning into an income generation body.
I think Petrol is going in reflective mode, we understand that road safety lost its mandate long time ago. And as a matter of fact, they become an accuser and a judge on the road. And it's very sad that the mandate is already eroding because they are more in tune with making money rather than solve the problem on our road. It's sad and unfortunate.
I think the primary responsibility of the organization is safety, because that is what is even put in the name, Federal Road Safety Corps. But I think over the years, the agency has derailed, partly playing up more its revenue-generating activities while, slowing down a bit on its duties to ensure safety on the road. Instead of them looking for every means to find faults, so as for them to book a motorist, are they not supposed to look for a way of ensuring that people comply with
Federal Road Safety Commission? I think my own observation is that they are more focused on generating fund by asking driver if they are caught now, they will write paper for them to go and pay so amount to bank, instead of them to educate the driver that this is what you do that costs the payment of this particular amount. They will not do so.
But the Federal Road Safety Corps says it does not spend the fine generated from the road and has absolutely no incentive to collect fines that end in the Federation account. Hamid Oyegbade, Trust TV News, Osogbo.
Just reaching us now, Dangote Petroleum Refinery has lowered the ex-depot price of petroleum motor spray PMS, commonly known as petrol, from 950 naira to 890 naira per litre, effective Saturday. In a statement, the company attributed the price reduction to positive shifts in the global energy market and a notable drop in international crude oil prices. The company's Group Chief Branding and Communications Officer, Anthony Chejina, added that this latest move follows a similar decision made on January 19, when a price increase was implemented due to rising crude oil costs. The company noted that the drop in price would significantly lower the cost of petrol across the country, generating a positive ripple effect throughout the broader economy. The refinery advised oil marketers to ensure that the benefits of the reduced price are reflected onto the outlets in support of the economic revival led by President Bola Tinubu, whose administration is focused on making Nigeria self-sufficient in refined petroleum products and positioning the country as a leading oil export hub. You're also on to News Hour on Trust TV. Still to come, business, foreign and sports. To stay with us. Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. Just before we left, went on that break, we gave you an update. Dangote Petrol Refinery actually has lowered the export price of premium motor spirit, commonly known as petrol, from 950 naira to 890 naira per litre, and it's effective today, Saturday. Now to more business news. Nigeria's internet consumption reached 973,455 terabytes in December 2024, marking a 36.5% year-on-year increase from 713,200 terabytes recorded in December of 2023. This total consumption translates to approximately 998.79 million gigabytes. The data released on Friday by the Nigerian Communications Commission also shows a 10.75% increase in internet usage from November to December 2024. Internet subscriptions climbed to 139.28 million in December from 136.54 million in November. Broadband penetration stood at 44.43% at year-end, falling short of the 70% target set under Nigeria's National Broadband Plan 2020 to 2025, which expires this year. The country ended 2024 with 164.9 million active telecommunications subscribers, down from 224.7 million a year earlier. The governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Olayemi Kodoso, has assured that the Apex Bank is determined to curb inflation and stabilize the nation's economy. He stated this in Abuja during the Monetary Policy Forum 2025, featuring fiscal authorities, legislature, private sector, development partners, subject matter experts, and scholars. Speaking on the theme, managing the disinflation process, the Apex Bank boss reiterated that the goal of the CBN is to ensure that monetary policy remains forward-looking, adaptive, and resilient. He said the CBN is continuing its disciplined approach to monetary policy, adding that actions taken by the CBN have yielded measurable progress, including relative stability in the FX market, narrowing exchange rate disparities, and the rise in external reserves to over $40 billion as of December 2024. According to him, the Apex Bank is focused on strengthening the banking sector and introducing new minimum capital requirements for banks effective March 2026 to ensure resilience and position Nigeria's banking industry for a $1 trillion economy. Still in business, a total turnover of 3.245 billion shares worth 69.198 billion naira in 77,270 deals was traded this week by investors on the floor of the exchange. The financial services industry, measured by volume, led the activity chart. The services industry followed in second place, while third place was occupied by the oil and gas industry. The NGX All Share Index and market capitalization appreciated by 0.87% and 1.67% respectively to close the week at 104,496.12 basis points and 64.709 trillion naira. 52 equities appreciated in price during the week, with 44 depreciating, while 54 equities remained unchanged. On the foreign scene, there were 773 bodies in hospital morgues in and around the eastern Congolese city of Goma as of January 30, following the week's offensive by Rwanda-backed M23 rebels, the Democratic Republic of Congo's health ministry said on Saturday. The military said morgues are overfilled and more bodies are lying on the street, while 2,880 wounded were recorded between January 26 and January 30. The Tutsi-led M23 rebels on Tuesday seized Goma, East Congo's largest city and the capital of North Kivu province, which is home to lucrative gold, coltan and tin mines. They then moved on towards Bukavu in South Kivu, but appeared to be held up on Friday by Congolese troops supported by Burundi's army. Well-trained and professionally armed M23 is the latest in a long line of Rwandan-supported rebel movements to emerge in Congo's volatile eastern borderlands following two successive wars stemming from Rwanda's 1994 genocide. At least 54 people were killed and 158 wounded on Saturday in a strike by Sudan's paramilitary rapid support forces RSF on a market in the city of Omdurman, the health ministry said in a statement on Saturday. The RSF, in its statement, denied targeting the market and instead accused the Sudanese army of launching attacks targeting civilians. Both the army and RSF have struck densely packed areas in a war that broke out in April 2023 over the integration of the two forces. The conflict has killed tens of thousands of people, driven millions from their homes, and plunged half of the population into hunger. Still on the foreign scene, Uganda's president on Saturday condemned the Supreme Court ruling that civilians cannot be tried in military court, while the army said it would continue court-martialing ex-presidential candidate Kizza Besigye. Besigye was once President Yoweri Museveni's trusted personal doctor, but has become a government target since joining the opposition 25 years ago and unsuccessfully running for president 4 times. He was abducted in November and has been facing the death penalty on treason charges in a court-martial that his wife, UNAIDS Executive Director Winnie Byanyima, has called a sham. The country's Chief Justice ruled on Friday it was unconstitutional for civilians to be tried in military courts, raising hopes Besigye's treason trial might be halted. Earlier, Army spokesman Chris Magezi said, under no circumstance will Colonel Kizza Besigye be released until he faces the full extent of martial law. Opposition figures and human rights defenders condemned the army's decision. It's time for Sports Update with Adini Ajishafe.
The Nigeria Under-19 women's basketball team will know her group components at the 2025 FIBA World Cup on 4th February 2025, when a draw will be conducted. The 16 participating teams have been divided into 4 pots based on their strength and current FIBA World Rankings. Nigeria is in Pot 4 alongside Hungary, Argentina and Brazil. Pot 1 has Czech Republic, USA, France and Canada. Pot 2, Australia, China, Spain and Israel. As Pot 3 has Mali, Portugal, Japan and Korea Republic. The draw will hold at Brno, Czech Republic, to be conducted by Ivana Besirova and Eva Vitokorova. And still in sport, the National Sports Commission's Elite Athletes and Podium Board has been inaugurated by the chairman of the commission, Shehu Diko. The board, which has former Nigeria international Yusuf Ali as chief executive officer, is charged to swing into action with the objective to ensure a sustainable scientific system for Nigerian athlete discovery and welfare for better podium performances. NSC chairman Shehu Diko said the Athletes Elite and Podium Board is established to solve lingering problems associated with Nigerian athletes and their performances at international competitions. Director General NSC Bukola Olapade said the board has been given a clear mandate to identify Nigerian priority sport and support others for enhanced performance. Meanwhile, Special Advisor to the President on Media and Public Communications, Sunday Dare, also charged the newly inaugurated board to live up to expectations to ensure Nigeria produces consistent podium performances. The Chief Executive Officer of the board, Yusuf Ali, assured that the board will deliver on its mandate while appreciating NSC for finding him and his members worthy to undertake the task. Members of the committee include Professor Ken Anugweje, member and advisor, Olumide Bamiduro, member and secretary, Emmanuel Igbinosa, Saliu Abubakar, Aku Agazu, Tunde Adelakun, Professor Sadiq Abdullahi and Mary Onyali. Other members include Hawa Kuluwakemi, Sunday Odebode, Olale Kwalabi, Sylvester Ikuyamoye representing Nafar SD, Olumide Odeji representing the Nigeria Olympic Committee, Isa Suleiman representing PCN, Opera Tekla, Adebimpe Adewale and Shagaya Adumomen. That's Sport News. I'm Adeni Ajisafe.
Before we go, here is a kicker. Emerging writers, whether first-time authors or from disadvantaged communities, often struggle to have their voices heard. Abdullah Ibule has crafted a vibrant platform for African authors. His online platform and physical bookshop help authors on the self-publishing journey. Take a look.
I came up with an idea for an AI-powered climatic design app, so that allows you to use artificial intelligence to analyze climatic data, and then it helps you to come up now with guidelines for how to design more climate responsive buildings. In architecture school, I think most architects know this, that every drawing must have a compass, because this helps you first get an orientation of how your building is facing in relation to the sun. And the first problem we realize is, first of all, there isn't enough climate data. Africa, even Kenya specifically, doesn't have enough meteorological stations for you that covers the whole country. So if I'm doing a project in Nairobi, it's very unlikely that I'll get the right climatic data for this particular location. The thing that you're asking about, whether you can get so when you hear about AI, sometimes it's easy for you to say like, this ran all the way up to my thesis 6th year. It was just about tech. It was about computational design, ways in which all those functions can be automated.
To design buildings that fit in the context that they are in. So what DIRA does for me, it gives me data. For example, there was a project I was working on in Zanzibar, which is quite an interesting climate. So I got the data from the AI along with some subtle Swahili design suggestions, which I think is very nice, that has been incorporated quite well. And I'm thinking of permanently incorporating DIRA into my workflow.
With that, we've come to the end of News Hour tonight on Trust TV. For more news, programs and documentaries, you want to follow us on our social media platforms and on our YouTube live stream. I am Chiamaka Nwafo. Thank you for joining us tonight. Good night.